What is going on? You are watching and listening Tags Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex, the live edition. This is episode 346, and I'm your host, Steve V, alongside Cody Maurice Doggett. Thanks for joining us, Cody, in your brand new apartment.
Finally, right? Well, that was rough. I was scared, honey. Okay. Hello, darling, by the way.
Salud, querida. That means cheers,
Aw.
cheers, dear.
Cheers, dear. I need
Cheers,
a sip
dear.
drink right
Salud,
now.
querida. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I know. Tell us, you just moved into this place. I love the brick wall behind you. Jen says
I
hi.
know.
We're in
Hi,
front of a
Jen.
live audience. What? Yep, John says love the brick background. What can you tell us about the new apartment? And besides having like stressed out of getting this show together.
It's a mess still. Moving in is a lot of work,
Oh yeah.
and there's boxes everywhere. I cleared out over here just so you guys could see.
You're in your own little nook.
If I turn the camera around, all you'll see is the boxes, and I have to put up a bed still. So yeah, it's good times. I'm loving it though. We're loving having our own space, naked all the time. So
Nice. Already naked all the time. I love it. And your boyfriend's cooking dinner for you, I hear, and doing the
he already
laundry.
made it. Yes.
Wow.
You make him a housewife.
Who needs the housewives when you got, him? I'm kidding.
That's
We
right.
love
Hello.
Joe.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we've got a jam-packed show for you. Super excited about it. First off, I got to let you know, the shirt I'm wearing today is our 5-year anniversary Tags podcast tee. And right now, you might want to grab one of these or any one of just the regular Tags podcast logo, because everything is 40% off. And I'm talking about tees, tanks, mugs, all kinds of merch. And you just want to take advantage of it now for I believe, till, let's see, the 12th. So it's the 9th
Nice.
when this starts till the 12th. Head over there and get yourself a Tags podcast tank tee, whatever that is. 40% off. The best way to get there is to go to tagspodcast.com and click on the link Tags merch. We can also put that in our little live show here. Tags
Where is it?
merch. I'm doing it right
Oh, you
now.
got it? Okay.
And there you go. Just click on one of those images. And I think I did it. I'm not sure if I did it or not.
That's the
Maybe not.
fish.
I
Yeah.
didn't do it. Anyways, I'll do it right now. The beauty of live video. There it is. Okay. So take advantage of that. Also take our poll. We had a live
Ooh.
poll last week on TAGSPodcast.com. We still want you to weigh in. The question is, with injectable PrEP becoming a thing, will you switch over to injectable PrEP versus the daily pill? That's the question. You can take
Nice.
that poll. In fact, I'm going to put that one in the and take you guys watching right now, please take this poll right now and let us know. We'll report back on it next week. We want to know where you ride and where you side on the injectable PrEP version. There's an other too. So if you're not taking any of it or you don't want to do any of that, put other. We invite all of you to write in the comment section why and why not. So I love polls. Yeah, I like
You
a
said
thick poll.
you
John said.
where you ride on the pole, and I just got excited. I was just like,
Yeah,
I
John
love
said I
that.
love polls too. I love it rammed up my ass. So hey now, happy hump day here for you. We also have a follow up. I have a follow up that we asked the question on Tags Podcast episode 345. Who was your first adult entertainer crush? And we went through it all. And Cody, you said Max Grand.
I sure did.
or Max Grand, however you want to say it. The
Grande,
Grand,
like
very,
Ariana.
yeah. And I, you asked me if I knew who it was. And when we were talking and we recorded it,
Mhm.
I said, oh, yeah, I know who it is. But honestly, I didn't really know who you were talking about at the time because I was trying to get through the show. And
Yeah.
when I realized, I looked up Max Grand because I wanted to see, why does that name sound familiar? And I want to see, because I love old school porn stars. I looked it up and I realized, oh my God, I know him. The story is back in
What?
the day, the year was 1998, y'all.
Okay, come
And
on.
a
Tell me the
younger Steve V had his bright eyes, bushy-tailed, and was moving to become a Hollywood actor. And to
Mm.
make ends meet, I worked at a trainer gym. Get this, the name of the trainer gym was Todd Tramps. It was a real guy by the name of Todd Tramp. And Todd Tramps, it was his gym, and it was one of the first of its kind in LA at that time when trainer gyms were becoming a big thing.
Okay,
Outside
yeah.
of the Golds and the Crunch, there were these
Mhm.
trainer gyms where the only people invited were a trainer and their client. And I got a job there working behind the desk and got to see all the trainers come and go.
I bet you
One of the
did.
trainers was Max Grand, but of course, I can't remember what his name was. And even if I did, I'm not sure if I should out him on his real name.
Yeah, of course.
His
Yeah,
name wasn't definitely not Max. And
Max anytime, I'm sure.
the things I remember about him, he was really nice and he was
Mhm,
very like high energy. He would come in and you had to sign in the books to train your clients. And
mhm.
later I became a trainer at this gym too. So we were kind of working
Oh,
side by
nice.
side. And I thought he was sexy and all. I did not know at the time he was a porn star
Oh,
until later. And I'll never forget I want to say, and I may be making this up, this last part. I remember
okay.
being on the dance floor in LA and we were definitely crushing on each other. I
Mhm.
can't tell you if it went any further than that. I know I wanted it to go further than that, but I don't think it did. And I would probably be lying if I said we made out, but I don't know if we did or not because it's
I
just a
feel like you're
blur.
holding back.
I don't
Do?
think we did. But yeah, Max Grand, and he was the trainer at the time, and I had no idea. The other question follow up that I wanted to ask you was
Okay,
you told this great story about working at Sam Goody back in the day, and
yeah.
you were getting all these breathy phone calls, harassment calls, if you will, and you decided to create a different name than Cody for your name tag, and you chose the name My Favorite Porn Star, Jeff Stryker. Did you know about Jeff Stryker? How did you come up with
Yes.
that? And did you think that would be controversial?
Oh, I knew it would be, but I've always been about pushing buttons, darling. I
Okay,
but nobody
Madonna.
nobody ever discovered it, and that kinda made me a little bit upset. I did my gay research. I was like, "Who is one of the most infamous porn stars of all time?" And I said, I saw Jeff Stryker because he's infamous. So, and then I put it on my name tag, and nobody ever knew. Nobody ever said. People were just like, "Hi, Jeff," and it was nothing. So, goal
And
not
s
achieved.
and it's funny because I'm sure did you really have to put first and last name? You could have just put Jeff,
I
but
probably
Jeff
could have just put my first name, yeah.
Striker alone. I was looking back at some of the, you know, Striker takes hold, Striker strikes back. Were all some
Yeah,
of the titles of his films, and it just sounds like a porn name, kind of. Max Grand sounds kind of like a porn name too, right?
facts, yes,
Yeah.
100%. I could have chosen that I should have chosen that one too. You would have been better with that one because you know him actually. So,
Well,
we're gonna when we
he
go
was
out.
sexy. He was really sexy. I feel like they were more creative back in the day with the names back than they are today. Don't you
You think
think?
so?
I
I
think
think they're very creative now.
are they? I feel like drag is very creative with their names, but I feel like back in the day, it was like always a wink and a nod
Yeah.
with the name. And I don't know who are some of today's Austin Wolf. Is that creative? I mean, I guess, but it's okay.
It is okay.
Who name
I
another porn star out the
off the top of my head,
D'Angelo Jackson. Is that
yeah,
and don't get me wrong, D'Angelo's been on this show before and he's the sweetest, sexiest man alive, I think. One of. Love him. who else
I'm trying to
that
think of a tongue-in-cheek one. I'm making all these faces.
there's
Those are
not
my
that
thinking
many.
faces. Yeah.
Tim
I don't
Kruger. Is that name? No,
Sounds like he's
no.
from accounting. No.
No, I think the old days were better. What are the people saying? Who was some of their favorites? Tiger
Tiger
Tyson.
Tyson was so sexy.
That's
I
that's
used to
that's a good
live.
name. That's a
It
good
is a good
name.
name.
Is
Joe
he an old?
Landon is also from HR. Just
Joe
so
Landon is from HR. Yeah.
um Felix Fox, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Meh. Okay, all right.
Meh,
We'll
that's a
come up.
man.
So they're coming up with ones like Boots and have you seen the Boots guy?
No. Is
Yeah, there's a porn star named Boots and there's a spoon
Boots.
and just all these random tools that they're coming up with.
Fork,
Uh,
knife. I don't
so
know. Anyways, thanks for weighing in on that. I had to get that off my chest. Oh, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say, what would your porn name be if you?
It's funny because we came up. He did come up with a drag name. Not that I'm planning on doing drag anytime soon. It was
Yeah,
Donna Matrix,
but
and
that's your
I
drag
really
name. What about your
yeah.
porn
Well,
name?
I'm just saying. I don't know that I've come up with one
Okay,
in
well,
recently. Maybe by the end of the show, I'll come up
I
with one.
know.
Although I have to do a lot of
The
talking on this show, but I'll think of one. I'll try and come up with one.
oh, all right,
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. All
that was
right.
out of left field. Okay,
That was out of the field. I know that's a good one though, and I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can come up with. You guys, we got to talk about Florida.
yes.
Florida students participated in a massive walkout to protest the "Don't Say Gay" bill. More than 500 students participated in a massive walkout Monday at Winter Park High School in Orange County, Florida, in protest of the "Don't Say Gay" bill. By the way, it's not called that. I think we all know that by now. It's
Yeah.
actually called the Parents' Rights in Education Bill, HB 1557, which would effectively ban teachers from discussing sexual orientation and gender identity in classrooms for young students. LGBTQ advocates say the measure would lead to further stigmatization of gay, lesbian, and transgender children, causing more bullying and suicides within an already marginalized community. So, this walkout was organized by two juniors, Cody,
I believe it.
William Larkins and Maddie Zornick, which I thought was kind of cool.
I do love that.
The bill did pass Florida House of Representatives in February with a 69-47, and I believe it passed the Senate because Governor Ron DeSantis has said he's signing it. In a
Mhm.
debate, the bill's sponsor, Senator Dennis Baxley, now this is crazy. He said the quiet part out loud on where all this came from. He
Yeah.
revealed his reasoning behind it to stop LGBTQ plus children from coming out. That's the reason, which that part's crazy to
It
me.
is. Yeah.
He
It's really
essentially
sad.
was saying he was shocked about the increasing numbers of youth coming out as LGBTQ plus. He said he discussed the matter with his son, who's a psychologist, saying, "Why is everybody now all about coming out when you are in school?" According to the advocate, there
Mhm.
really is a dynamic of a concern about how much of this are genuine type of experiences and how many of them are just kids different trying on different kinds of things they hear about different kinds of identities and experimenting.
Mhm.
I don't know about you, but that's the time to experiment, Cody, is when you're in
For
school.
sure. Yeah.
Is the thing about it that they saying it's only till third grade that you can't say gay or not. That's the time that I remember first through third grade back in the day when I was in school that I got called things like faggot and
Yeah.
got made fun of was in those early times. Now, are they going to ban saying derogatory words like that, which would be far more useful?
Mhm.
And I think by this, if this is going into effect, that it's essentially going to be creating more hatred towards students. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think that it's going to if they go, which they already are, I think that if they go along with what they're doing now, then it will only make things worse for, because it's teaching the people not to it's teaching these kids that it's okay to other these young students, and to make them feel as to where they can't really ex- so I
Right.
think that when they make pass bills like this, they say it's not okay to be who you are, and I think
Right.
that that is really harmful to someone in their adolescence that's going to be coming up.
Yeah.
I'm really so proud of these students for sticking up for their rights and making their voices heard. These decisions that these lawmakers from yesteryear are putting out, that's who it affects, kids. And I it's our job, more so than I think, than it is their job to actually stand up for their rights. But I'm glad they're stepping forward and actually doing about it. So
Yeah, one person that really stood up to the plate, who I really love, I actually know him, Wilson Cruz. You know Wilson
yeah.
Cruz, right?
Oh yeah, I love him.
Wilson Cruz is among those to react with anger and disappointment to the news that Florida's Senate yesterday passed its controversial "Don't Say Gay" bill. "Quote: I found myself at Pulse today, only a few minutes after the Florida legislature passed
Hmm.
its violent "Don't Say Gay" bill and sent it to Governor DeSantis to sign," said
Oh
Cruz in
wow.
his video. "Almost 6 years after this national LGBTQI tragedy, Florida has learned nothing about how to
Wow.
prevent another Pulse." And he urged people to support the One Pulse Foundation to ensure people never forget what happened there. Um, I agree with him in this
Yeah.
because he goes on to say the memorial, the Pulse Memorial, wouldn't be necessary. The murders that happened almost 6 years ago would not have happened, he feels, if we had educated our children more, if we educated our population more about LGBTQ issues and issues of people of color and civil rights in this country. And I have to
Yeah.
totally agree with him on that one because that's what I'm saying. If you're going to It's not that you're teaching sex in these issues, it's just the mere fact that if you can't say gay, trans, bi, any of these things, if you have a parent that happens to be gay or gay parents and you can't
Hmm.
say that, it's going to stigmatize towards these young children that
Yeah.
that's bad. And it's going to further, we didn't have those laws back in the day, any of these,
Hmm.
because nobody was talking about them anyway. And that's why we got faggot and a lot of like
Yeah.
derogatory words being thrown at us. This is so backwards.
It
It's
really, really is. It just
Yeah.
speaks to the closed-minded mind lawmakers have right now. If he would have really wanted to address coming out, then he probably would have done a completely different bill as far as maybe self-exploration. But I the fact that he couldn't even come up with one example of how this is going to affect everyday life in the classroom is very telling of where this bill is actually coming from. And I don't think it's coming from a place of fear and a place of acceptance and love. So,
Well, he said he wants to dissuade kids from coming out. Like, he actually
yeah,
said that. I don't know that
I
he
know.
really meant to say that, but I think it's how he truly feels. And
Yeah,
that alone, believe when somebody says something, believe what they say.
exactly.
One of the people saying El Rey says, "There goes my dream of raising a family in Wilton Manors." Yeah, I'm sad. And I love Wilton Manors too.
Me
Um,
too.
yeah, we don't want to, yeah, support that right now. All right, moving on. Could sharing a booty pic, Cody, help save lives?
Hopefully.
Plus Magazine wrote this great article that I'm all about. When's the last time you thought about your butt health? Though
Okay.
the state of your rear end's health is probably not always at the forefront, they write, it is something to be aware of, especially for gay and bi men and those living with HIV who can be more at risk for developing certain colorectal issues. In case you didn't know, I didn't know this. March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. According to the
Okay.
American Cancer Society, colorectal cancer is a cancer that starts in the colon or the rectum, and these cancers can also be called colon. These can also these cancers can also be called colon cancer or rectal cancer, depending on where they start.
Okay.
Colon cancer and rectal cancer are often grouped together. An estimated 900,000 people worldwide died from this type of cancer last year, with 53,000 in the US alone. And with this month,
Mm-hmm.
hashtag March Your Butts campaign, Cheeky
Ooh,
Charity is hoping its unorthodox approach will generate more awareness around colorectal cancers. And they're getting people to pose with their butts and use the hashtag March Your Butt. While many of the photos showing up from the campaign are certainly sexy, it's not quite as scandalous as it might sound. You can cover up your booty with the org's cute heart-shaped booty logo,
nice.
but you can also make it really small if you want to show more of your ass, which I think is kind of the way I would go. You
Yeah.
know, I know you're a fan of Drag Race, Cody.
Oh yeah.
Drag Race alum Jackie Cox posted, and as not as Jackie Cox, but as himself, as the boy. I don't know if he goes
Hmm.
by Jackie Cox that way too, but
I'm not sure. Yeah, but
he looks
either
really
way.
sexy in that picture of his
Yeah.
ass, right?
Yes, he does. I was like, "Oh my, that's Jackie Cox." I always thought that Jackie Cox was pretty cute, but now that I see the reverse side, see it from the back, I'm like, "Okay, I see you, Jackie Cox."
So I encourage you guys to do this hashtag March Your Butts. This is kind of personal to me because we've had Dr. Goldstein on the show before, who is, I call him the good doctor, the ass doctor himself, and he is all about getting that area checked out more than we think we need to,
Okay.
particularly if you're bottoming. It's just good to have it checked out. If you're here in New York or LA, Dr. Goldstein's a great, but any proctologist can just kind of check in that region. And it's not just cancer, it's all kinds of things. I had an issue way back when, which seemed just like an innocent little
Mhm.
pimple around that ass region. And my general practitioner tried to actually just get rid of it, like poke it out, and came to find out he thought it was an abscess,
Okay.
and no, at a further look at it, it was what was called a fistula, which has to
Oh,
be surgically removed. Sounds a lot more serious than it was because we were able to remove it, and I was back in business like no tomorrow. But
nice.
it was something that I didn't know, and something. So you want to have that area checked out, at a certain age, perhaps, or any
Mhm.
time if you're using it. I think, don't you agree with this campaign, Cody?
Totally, totally do. I think that it's something we as gay men really need to get behind, pun intended on that one, 100%. It's something that's totally dear to my heart and my boyfriend's heart, and I really think that we should all be a part of this. It's something that I'm actually thinking about. I know I tease going on being naked on the Instagram a lot, but I think this one is something I would actually do and get behind because it's not only is it sexy, but it also is for a good cause. So it's yeah.
Do it.
I
I'll
think
try and do
I'm
it on my end.
yeah.
I'm just back into trying to, after my broken ankle, I'm getting back in the gym, but I might
Yeah.
use one of my last year pictures to kind of cover up, not
Your
to
butt
use
probably
this
looks
camp. It's
fantastic.
fine, but I mean, I'm back in the gym today. I've been doing
Mhm.
rubber band workouts, push-ups, and working out and shadow boxing with my I walk crutch, if you can believe it. I should
Yeah,
post a video of that. So I've
that
not
would
that
be
I've not,
cute.
but I haven't been in the gym lifting, picking up weights with my boot on, and I was doing that today, and I'm so sore today after all that. So
Mhm.
I'm getting there, but I will do the campaign. I'll probably just use like an older pic to do it because I believe in more of the messaging on what's behind it right now. And if
True.
you want to do
Yes.
it too, I'll
Yeah.
post this information because I think it's really important. Hashtag March Your Butt, BUTT campaign. Do it. I think it's a really great awareness month for this.
I think
There's
I'm going to.
awareness. Do it. Yeah. There's awareness months for everything else. Breast cancer. I mean, we think nothing of so many of these other things, and yet we're so obsessed with the butt as gay men, as LGBTQ, that this is so important and we want it to remain healthy and to be able to use it. So
Yeah.
this campaign, you guys, is not just like, oh yeah, whatever. It's a big thing. If you want to continue to enjoy it and enjoy
Yeah.
others, then this is the campaign to be a part of.
Got to
I'm
take
just
care
saying.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we cannot stop talking about this guy. I don't know why. I think we're secretly obsessed with him. I don't know. Maybe you are, Cody. Colton Colton Underwood is back and he just gives us a lot of content, which is so hilarious. Colton Underwood's advice is giving advice for singles looking for relationships.
Okay.
So, we talked about Colton Underwood in the past about how he was on The Bachelor and then he was stalking a
Wait,
former
who is this again? No,
bachelorette.
I'm just joking.
Right. I'm just telling the timeline in case you
Yeah.
didn't know.
No, okay. Yeah,
Then
you're right.
last week, he's been dating a guy since last summer, and they are now engaged. They just bought a $3 million house together. Well, recently, the newly engaged reality TV star and Bachelor alum was doing a broadcast on Amazon Live when with his engagement party event planner, April
Okay.
Gray. Okay,
Okay. A
now.
very fancy.
And during the stream, he took some time to answer some of his fans' most burning questions, especially since this was his first public appearance since announcing his upcoming nuptials. So, when asked if he had any advice for all the singles out there who are trying to get into a relationship as soon as they can, Underwood took a page out of Mama RuPaul's "If You Can't Love Yourself, How in the Hell You're Gonna Love Somebody Else" school of thought, saying, It took myself it took myself to find myself and to make sure I was comfortable being single and an individual before I got into a relationship. It took a lot of therapy, a lot of self work and self care to figure out what I needed, how I could be a better partner, better communicator, and a lot of ups and downs to get to the point. He continued. So, my biggest piece of relationship advice is drum roll, make sure you are okay as an individual before becoming a partner. Okay,
Yeah.
Colton. I mean,
Okay, Colton.
you and I were talking offline that this is just sort of obvious. I mean, you want to take care of yourself before you get into a relationship. But I'd like
Yeah.
to think that we're always evolving and, provided you're not a murderer or something or have
Or a
some dark.
stalker.
Yeah, or maybe if you had like an addiction, you might want to take care of that addiction first before you get into. I don't know.
Yeah, I was making a joke about Colton. He stalked somebody.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
He must have done a lot of work on that.
John says, "Good advice." I still give his marriage 6 months. Laughing out loud. Yep. Sadly, I kind of agree because,
Me
yes,
too.
of course, it's great advice. Of course, you want to be in the best place that you can be in when you get into a relationship, much less get engaged, much less buy a $3 million house together with somebody. But the crazy thing about it, his timeline has been on the fast track with the heteronormative reality show that he was a part of, known as The Bachelor, of all
Yeah.
things, and then stalked somebody, and then we're made to believe just a few months later that he got through therapy, he did
Mhm.
all the work that takes some people years to go through, that he did in a quick nutshell like that, and then managed to find the man, buy a house together, is getting married, and is now giving advice out to others with his event planner sitting right next to him.
Hello, I was just thinking, when was this man ever single? I don't know the answer to that. So how he must have did the work, and he must have went in some time loop or something like that, because he wasn't ever single long enough to do this work and get comfortable with being with himself. As far as my recollection, maybe I told you offline that I would like to actually interview him, but I really kind of don't want to talk to him. So I'm kind of torn between whether or not. Colton. So yeah.
The other crazy thing, absolutely no, says Silas watching us. Hi, Silas.
Hi,
Yeah.
Silas.
John says, sounds like he's trying to convince himself that he is ready to be married.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, good point, John, because we were talking offline that we didn't mention this, but he just celebrated his 30th birthday. 30. At 30, I did not have a 30. Let's see. I was at that gym that I was talking about at the beginning of the show, and I was
Okay.
getting my career, my Hollywood acting career
Yeah.
together. I couldn't imagine, and believe me, there was Hollywood types that would come in and try and I went on a few dates here and there, but I was not in any way
In
mental
marriage, right?
shape to be then getting married. Not
Hmm.
to say that everybody's on the same track level as everybody else. I think I'm more of a late bloomer,
Hmm.
but with his story being on a hetero, the biggest hetero reality show in out there. I mean,
Hmm.
The Bachelor's ratings are like over the through the roof.
Yeah.
That it's hard for me to believe that he then at 30 is ready for all of this, and it just seems like a lot of show. And I keep going back to the fact that what's the big rush to buy the house and get married? Like, shouldn't he have like really enjoyed his single life and parlayed that for a while, dated this guy for a minute?
I mean, he
And
did a
what's
whole
with this
show,
guy?
so
And what's with this guy that
whose age
is
we don't even know.
that we weren't certain of his age, but he's a little bit older, and is this
Yeah,
all for TV? Yeah, get ready for a TV wedding. Yes,
that's it.
totally.
That it sounds like he knows the advice that he should be giving, but we don't know. I have to consider the source. I don't know if he actually believes it or if he actually knows what it is to do the work. That's why I kind of want to talk to him. So
Thank
we'll
you. Well,
see.
to your point, Cody, I
Mhm.
think there's a lot of people that may look up to somebody like a Colton who recently came out that has said that he was an athlete and that he was so in the closet and that he felt scared, and that now here he is finding his man and they're living quote unquote happily ever after. That
Mhm.
what if and now he's giving advice, so people are looking to him for advice. In
Yeah.
other words, my point is, and I do have one, is he has a
Mhm.
platform, and with his platform he might be giving advice willy-nilly, to your point, if you'd want
Mhm.
to interview him. And what if like people looking up to him are like, oh my god, I could have this too, and I could probably find somebody, and then I'm going to be starry eyed over somebody, and then want to get married, and maybe not have an event planner because I can't, but get my sister to
Right.
do the wedding. I don't know,
Or go on or go on The Bachelor first, and
Right,
because
right.
you can't follow that trajectory to get to getting a boyfriend. It's a completely wild trajectory. So again, I wish him all the best, but I am very skeptical about it. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. I'm sure he'll be in the news again. Maybe it's that big wedding, that the TV wedding that we'll all be tuning into. Not,
Oh, looking
but
forward to it.
we might be tuning in. It might be fun to watch it just to see. He said it's going to be crazy and not your average wedding. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, well, if you're a fan of Pornhub, xvideos, and xhamster, and you live in France,
Ooh,
you may want to move if that's how you get your porn, because they may be banned soon. There is a similar ban. Uh, 5 websites hosting sexually explicit contents, the one I just listed in France, are being maybe banned for failing to prevent children from accessing their content.
oh,
So the national media regulator today announced that it had filed a legal complaint against the sites, which in late 2021 were told they needed to bring like a system to stop underage viewers.
okay,
And Pornhub, the world's biggest site, as well as the others that I listed, uh, essentially in a statement, if justice rules in favor, these websites will no longer be accessible from French territory or via addresses registered in France. The ban, if approved by the court, would see internet operators in France ordered to prevent users from accessing content posted on the websites. And the reason is there's a loophole in France that they can't seem to ask the age and block them.
Mhm.
And then that's why these sites might not be there. Is this a good thing, a bad thing, or does it? I mean, the thing I think about though when I think about this is I didn't watch a lot of porn growing up.
Oh, really?
No, no, because it was on VHS and I didn't have access to it. And I made up plenty of time for that in the last several years,
In the last
but
month too?
in the last in the last in the last week, and we're only at Wednesday. But I think, yeah, I'm kind of glad I didn't.
Yeah?
I think it would have been too much too soon for my mind here. And again, I'm a
Oh,
slow learner. Did you watch porn growing up?
I sure did. I watched a lot of porn when I was younger.
Really?
Yeah, it was I watched a lot, and I don't know how I really got access to it. I think the first porn that I ever watched, I it was at my cousin's house, and he had a VHS tape, and it was straight up into a certain point, and then there was a little gay portion, and
Fast forward to that
I
section.
I wore that little gay portion out.
And you remember the VHS tapes, if you wore them out too much, they could get stuck in the
Like
machine, and then you were really screwed.
yeah, but he never found out, fortunately. But I don't know. I think that I developed pretty well. I think I'm pretty now. Maybe that's because of all the porn that I watched when I was a kid.
See? Yeah. Jen watching us, who's a part of our Patreon community, says LimeWire gave me all my porn when I was young. LimeWire was like the music platform.
Yes, but they
What
had
was
you. I got a lot of
what
porn
was
from
that one
there
called where
too.
you could get your music from? You it was ripping
I know what
from
it is. Napster. That's what it is.
Napster. Thank you. Oh, remember the Napster days? You were essential,
Girl, I
wasn't
really had to struggle
and
right there.
I know you went back into the archives.
I took a I went into a trance
You
almost.
did. I want to find out this name. That's crazy. LimeWire and Napster and all that. You were essentially accessing other people's computers to rip it from other people's content from other people's computers, right? That would never
But they
fly
gave
today.
access to it. They gave
They
access.
did, but doesn't it seem like just a loophole to get it, like really take over somebody's computer?
File
Like we would
sharing.
never do that now. I said file
No, I wouldn't.
sharing. Yeah.
It's share and share. I love it. Sharing is
I'm
caring.
done with this porn. Here, you take it now. Yeah, I guess. Well, that does bring us to a Reddit thread that asks the question, you know that you're watching too much porn when
Uh-oh.
dot. You're more interested in the kitchen appliances that are in, somebody wrote. Also, when you're judging their taste in carpets and furniture.
Oh,
I knew I
wow.
was watching too much porn, they write on the Reddit thread, when I checked into a hotel, got to my room, and recognized the ugly artwork on the wall from some porn I had on my computer. Opened it up, double checked, and sure enough, it was the same hotel, same ugly artwork, same furniture and decor, and same view of the same buildings from the window. That is nuts. People went on that tangent with that person.
I love it.
Other people wrote, let me find a couple others. When I get distracted by dirty bedrooms as if it's impossible to clean up before filming.
Yeah.
If it's amateur, then it makes more sense for the place to be messy since it'll be the top that's hosting. Oh,
Okay.
that's interesting. We got to ask Jeremy, our co-host Jeremy, on that because he said he likes amateur porn, and with amateur porn, he's all about design.
Mhm.
Jeremy, I'm wondering if he minds that.
Oh, yeah, we gotta ask him.
Another person wrote, "Guys fucking with their watches or socks on distracts me."
Really? I kinda like it. I
Yeah,
think it's hot.
that would kind of distract me too. I asked the question, Cody. You know that
Uh-huh.
you're watching too much porn when fill in the blank.
When you recognize the porn stars on the street and you start talking to them like your friends. That's how that's when you watch too much porn.
That's a good one.
Isn't
Yeah.
it? I've done it
Mhm.
before.
Somebody else wrote another one when you just can't come, and somebody wrote, "You just need to take a week off from porn." And I
Yeah,
think
I've
that's
been
kind of
there
where
too.
I'm at. I'm taking a week off
Really?
from porn. Yeah, and it's just going to rejuvenate the all everything down there, and I'll be ready
It
to
does.
go back again. Yeah.
So is that your
Um
is that
yeah, I think yeah, I've watched too much recently, and it's
okay.
becoming like you watch too much porn when your dick
When?
becomes desensitized.
Okay.
Or my other answer is, you've watched too much porn when you click on the scene and you've seen it 25 times and it's no longer interesting. You can fill in the blanks too much. And
When you
that's
wanna
yeah.
direct it.
Yeah, right.
Perfect. I love
Who
it.
else write some answers in our messages here of you watch too much porn when, and let us know, and we'll read some of them off. That's a good one though, don't you
Oh,
think,
yeah.
Cody?
I do. I really, really do. I think that I've been there with you. So I've taken a break off of porn because I've become so desensitized. It happened during the
Yeah.
pandemic. So, and I think lots of people got that way because at first it was, oh, I have all this free time. I can just go and wank away whenever I want to. And then all of a sudden it was porn overload. So,
Yeah, we have to have one of our guests back on the show that is really Finn Deerhart,
mhm,
who is really good about giving us exercises on finding the intimacy with your partner, finding the intimacy with yourself. And he has this really great exercise. It's called the mirror exercise,
mhm,
where you really get back in touch with your body, and it's awesome and really
love that.
great. Yeah, where you don't use porn, but it's equally as hot, if not more hot.
Cool.
I asked
So
a new Oh, go ahead.
El Rey says, when you know you've watched too much porn, when you know what time is best to start the video, like at the
Oh, the
at the 10
digits.
10.5 10.5 seconds. That's when you
Yeah.
start the video. That's when it starts to get really good. And I've been there
Oh,
before too.
yeah. I have too. I have too, right. That's a really good one. I know
Yeah.
exactly the 1834 mark
18.
where I can stay on there till 1859, and I'm going to shoot a great load, and I have only so much time.
That's when the
So
DP starts. Wait,
that's
what?
when the DP starts. Speaking of DP, I didn't know
Oh,
what this was. I just put this in. Oh, we have one more comment.
Pornhub.
And
Love
don't
it.
open that on the airplane. I've had by accident been on a plane before and had Twitter, because I follow my Twitter, my followers, or not my
Mhm.
followers, but the people that
Yeah.
I
Well,
follow
both
is
actually.
all
Yeah.
over the place. I
Yeah.
mean, I have President Biden, Kamala
Yeah.
Harris on there. I have Kathy Griffin,
Uh-huh.
but then I have RuPaul on there. But then
Mhm.
I've got like D'Angelo Jackson on
Yeah.
there and other porn stars, and you never know where it's going to land. I have Bethany Frankel. And so it's like, it's like a spinning roulette wheel that you never know where it's going to land when you open Twitter up. And I've made the mistake of opening it up on an airplane before, and like, oh, and like quickly like slamming it down.
You gotta
because
just
it
do it
was
really
because it
smooth.
wasn't Bethany Frankel, I guarantee
It
you.
wasn't Skinny Girl Vodka. That's
No,
for
right, exactly.
sure.
Yeah, you got to be careful with the homepage and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Speaking of DP, I didn't know this. You knew it, of course. T- Tell me what spit roasting is. Do you guys know
It's
what spit roasting is?
I can't believe you didn't know
I know
this,
sometimes I'm
Steve.
so late to the game. I put it in the feed. Tell the people
You
what
should have
spit
watched more
roast.
porn when you were younger. Okay.
Okay.
It's when there are two tops and there's in the middle. It's also called the Eiffel Tower, I think. And when you hold hands up from the top.
In
Okay, all right.
France.
So and a bottom in the middle, and on one side the bottom is sucking a dick, and then on the other side he's taking the dick up his ass. So that's what spit roasting
Well, you
is.
guys
It
got to
looks
watch
like
this one. I put it
the
in the
pig.
feed, and there I will put this on TAGSPodcast.com. There is a guy that got really creative. Apparently, you need two tops to do this. This guy got really
Hmm.
creative and used his closet. So, in the picture, in the frame on Twitter, he has his clothes in the background, and he used the two doors that open the closet up. They're kind of those accordion doors. On one
Hmm.
end, he has like stuck to the one closet door a
Hmm.
dildo that he's taking it up the ass, and on the other one he's got another one glued a little bit higher up where she's sucking it, and he's feverishly working both of them to a frenzy. In fact, he's panting at the end of the video, like I
Best
mean,
workout ever.
I it's like, calm down. I mean, these are real people, and you're going to break those closet doors. It is a sight to see. I'm a little worried about the closet doors, though. Cody,
Me
what were your
too.
thoughts on this? Is it just too much work to do this? I mean, I've had this done to me in real life.
Yeah,
I've been
love
the
it.
bottom, and the two Cubans were I was sandwiched
Oh,
by, and let me tell you, it was pretty hot.
it,
I'll
it,
never forget.
it
Yeah.
it's a very wonderful experience, especially when the top is just, well, I did it. I was topping when I top is just as hot as you are. Look over and see how hot he is, and that he's either getting his dick sucked or fucking this other guy, and
I guess,
it's an
but
amazing
I
experience.
think you're missing out. It's all the best part is the person in the middle because you get the best of both worlds. You two are doing all this. Well, you are doing all the work, the Tomps, but I'm all about. I mean, the star is definitely the one taking both.
And you are the star, darling.
I'm the star, darling.
My first thoughts about this guy and his contraption is that he better be a handyman because he's messing up those doors. He needs to do something because he needs to be able to maintain them. I hope he knows a good hand can afford to buy new IKEA furniture. I'm him basically.
John, watching us live right now, asked the question. I wonder if he leaves those dildos up when they're not in use. Can you imagine? I mean, you just forget,
Your
and your
mother comes
mom.
over. She's like, "Oh, go grab some pants
That
from the closet, mom."
is too
Oh.
much for any parent or sibling to see. They don't need
Yes,
to
it
know all
is.
that. I mean, it's just too much, right?
Oh, yeah. But
I'm
I'm
sure he
thinking that
takes.
this is a good way for me to have to experiment a little bit with my boyfriend, because now we can have the three-way. We can just Matthew.
Oh, right. Back to that.
But yes, call back. Here we are.
Right. I love
Yeah.
it. Well, along those lines, it's time for our favorite segment of the night. It's straight up gay porns. They ask the question, who took the thirstiest picture of these 20 gay porn stars this week? It could be a video or a picture. There's some good ones this week. You get 20 choices. It's our job, since primarily we are an audio podcast, for us to descriptively describe the picture and why it is our favorite one of the week. You guys can weigh in too and let us know which one was your favorite. Cody, what was your favorite of the week by Straight Up Gay Porn?
So my favorite this week goes to Alejandro Pino, and
Oh,
uh
and
it's
that
the I think
Pinot,
it's the
I
first
want to
one.
just bow down to it. And
Yes,
yeah.
it's amazing. He is absolutely gorgeous with a body and a dick to die for. He clearly knows how to take an amazing picture. I heard through the grapevine that he's a photographer, so I can understand it. So I'm going to describe it now. The camera is placed a little bit below the crotch level, showcasing his fat, completely erect penis, right? And he's
Mhm.
got his arm raised in what Tyra Banks would probably call a fashion headache pose. Have you ever watched drag? Have you ever watched the
No.
Tyra Banks Top Model?
I mean, I know smizing, and that's about it. I didn't
Yeah.
graduate from that school.
Well, I did, darling. And she said that if you hold your hands up in this specific pose, then it looks like you have a fashion headache. You have to look a little pained in the face, and it's just hilarious. You got to go watch it. And his abs are tight and his biceps are bulging, and he's got a mirror behind him, and you can see the slightest hint of ass. So you knew I was in heaven because I love a nice ass. And I went on his page, and he's as hot as ever on his page. And on, I might go subscribe to his OnlyFans because he's beautiful.
Wow. Okay. So he does live up to it in all the other pictures too.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
Well, I think I'm gonna go. I was kind of unsure on where I was gonna land, but
Okay.
for many reasons, and get this, the guy goes by the name Fonzie,
I saw
Fonzie.
him. That's so
I like Fonzie. He is a black gentleman, sexy man. I like his facial hair. I like the pose. He's taking a selfie in the mirror. He's got some really great chest tattoos, really great tattoos in general, really
He's got
great
a nice
abs,
bush
and
too.
I like the bush, and I'm
Mhm.
not always for that much bush, but that's a really nice bush, extra added
Yeah.
bush, and a nice thick, and mind you, not erect dick, and it's still
Oh,
delicious looking.
yeah,
The
it
ball,
really
we see
is.
one ball in there. You know what I also like about this that
Mhm.
people don't like? I like the messiness in the back. Speaking of messy
Let me
backgrounds,
go look again.
I like, first of all, I like the bedroom, and look at us talking about the bedroom here. I like the dark charcoal paint on the wall and the closet in the background. It's just his bed is kind of a mess, and I'm not mad at it. I wouldn't post a picture like that, even though my bedroom does look like that currently, but
Okay.
I would clean it up beforehand. But I'm kind of not mad at it because to me it's not so messy that it's dirty. It's actually, he has style,
Yeah.
and it's livable,
Yeah.
and that tells me that it's going to be good dirty sex too. Like we're gonna push that pile of clothes off the ground, and he's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
pound me on that bed there, and it's gonna be great.
Love that.
Yeah.
So Jen says Sean Austin can use him as a chair all day, any day. And did you see Sean Austin?
Is his ass
His
like in
ass
the air?
is on a chair and his ass is in the air and fully cream pied. He's got all
I
of the cum.
saw
Yeah. I was like,
surprise, surprise, Jen.
woo. I knew exactly what he was talking about.
Uh-huh,
El
yep.
Rey says Fonzie is hot. And
Oh,
Daddy
good.
234 says Grayson Lane. He'd eat a breakfast, dinner, and as a snack in between. That's what I like. I love.
Oh, a snap. Which one's Grayson
I
now?
gotta go find.
We gotta find Grayson. Yeah. Hmm.
Oh yes, he's got
Oh, here we
tattoos
go.
towards the bottom.
Oh, you
Yeah,
know what? Thank you for saying, because that ass is like, that's a booty.
firm teardrop booty. I love it.
Wow, that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that booty too. Look at Jen chiming in. Oh, yes. Too
Yeah.
funny. Oh my gosh, this has been so much fun. Thanks for playing. Don't forget to take our poll. We're asking the question: would you switch to injectable prep? That's the question. You can go to patreon.com/tags podcast. And don't forget, you can get 40% off all tags merch. Go to
Woohoo.
tagspodcast.com now through March 12th. Hit the button tags merch. Cody, thank you so much. As
Thank you,
always,
darling. Always.
follow Cody at Mr. Maurice on Instagram, or he's a life coach at KMD Coaching. Thanks, guys, for listening. Follow us on the TikTok at Tags Podcast. And in the meantime, continue having hot,
Hot
gay
gay
sex. Yes.
sex.
Yes, yes, yes.